Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, my name is Vin and I document my journey building a business in my 20s. And this week we're in Gdańsk, Poland for the Infoshare Conference. I'm actually speaking on Tuesday about B2B influencer marketing, which is my first international conference. I think this will be my biggest conference I ever did a speech at. For the remainder of the week, we have pretty much stuff planned, except for today. I haven't eaten anything, I'm starving, and it looks really nice outside, so I'm gonna go out, wander around, try to get some food, maybe some pierogies, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, welcome to day number 2 in Gdańsk, Poland. This is like my full first day here. Today is Memorial Day, so the Creatorbuzz team does have off, and technically I don't need to work today, but I will spend a little time here on the laptop just catching up on some emails. And then today I'll probably head over to a food market, and then I have my sound check for my presentation to make sure that everything goes smooth with my slides and the mic setup and everything like that. So I'll have to head over to the conference hall later today, and I'm just kind of hoping to just take it easy today. Like just take it slow, wander around, don't put any pressure on myself. I did a workout this morning, which is my first workout since traveling. I ate way too many pastries in Copenhagen, so that was good to get a sweat in, get a pump. The hotel breakfast here at the Holiday Inn, of all places, was amazing. We need to stop putting hate on hotel breakfasts because they are underrated. All right, I'm gonna rip some emails, finish up some work, practice my presentation. Okay, that was super random. So I walk over to this Imperial Shipyard place and I found this little like luncheonette, and then I looked it up because it looked so traditional, and it opened up in 1980, and it was where all the ship workers and warehouse workers would go for lunch and stuff like that. So I was like, screw it, like when else would I have this experience? And so I went in there. The lady spoke like zero English, which is fine. So I basically had to show her a picture of like the schnitzel and whatever meal that I wanted. So I got a pork schnitzel, fries, and like a sauerkraut salad. It was actually unbelievable, super good. And it's just stuff like that I just love about travel, just kind of like wandering and popping into random places and just getting a really authentic experience. So all right, now I gotta head back to my hotel, and then I have a sound check later tonight. All right, they're just setting up. This is where I'm speaking tomorrow. Got the crew here. This place is huge. This thing starts tomorrow, and they're really not that set up, but I imagine this thing will just turn over overnight. Here's the main stage. I was just at the marketing stage, which is quite big, I think, but the main stage is even bigger. This is crazy. My biggest piece of advice to get over your fear of public speaking is to get to the conference hall the day before or the morning of, before the conference starts, and get a sense of the stage. Walk around, feel the stage, look at the room, make sure you do a tech check the mic, the clicker, the slides, your laptop, anything to ensure that the next day goes smoothly. And for me, this just kind of puts me at ease, so when I show up the next day, I feel very prepared, and all I have to think about is my presentation and my content. Now off to the welcome dinner. All right, I am here at Infoshare in Gdańsk, Poland. This is like surprisingly a really large conference, and there's a lot to see here. I've been to so many different conferences within the US, but this is my first international conference. And it's really interesting to see how conferences are set up internationally. When you walk by the booths, you just hear a plethora of different languages, because truthfully, people are from all over. It's kind of like flying to different states for conferences. People are flying in from different countries. So you overhear Polish, you overhear Italian, you overhear French, all these different languages. In just a bit, I'm shooting some content for the Infoshare team just to give them a quick little testimonial. And then in a few hours, I have my presentation at the marketing stage, which I'm pumped about. Okay, it's go time. 10 minutes to my presentation here at the marketing stage. Gonna go get mic'd up and take you guys behind the scenes. And so what we're noticing is that advertising spend continued to rise year after year, but at the same time, there's actually a decrease in the performance. The average click-through rate right now is 0.46%. We're spending more and more on paid advertising dollars, seeing less results. And then on top of that, I was a former sales guy for 6 years, so I know this struggle all too well. I'm not gonna say cold outbound is dead, but it's getting really, really hard. With automation, AI, industry reply rates are sitting under 2% right now. It's because buyers wanna shop anonymously. 80% of the buyer's journey is done anonymously. And that's because they know if they fill out a form, they know that an annoying salesperson like myself will reach out and cold call you until you accept a meeting. I think the presentation went pretty well. First off, the space itself was huge. There was a lot of people. I mean, like the seats were fairly filled. I don't think it was like standing room only, but a good amount of the seats were filled. I think my presentation went really well. I started off with like a joke and a story. I think I did a good job explaining the use case. My only feedback for myself was I feel like once I got to like the back end of the presentation, I felt my energy kind of go down. I think one of the things to improve potentially is incorporating more storytelling throughout my presentation, because I started off with such a good story, and I really feel like when I tell the story, I have a lot more energy, and the crowd also like matches my energy. As I got to the end, I don't know if it was because I was tired, I didn't practice enough, or just the content on the screen wasn't that good, but I felt my energy kind of drifting down. But all in all, I mean, it was my first international conference. It was definitely the biggest speech I've ever done. Most of the presentations actually are in Polish. I was one of 5 Americans that was actually invited here to speak. The first few people before me were all speaking Polish, and I was like, what the, you know. But all in all, good conference. I have to jump on. I had to leave a little bit early though, because I have to jump on some client calls right now. So it sounds like the main 3 things that we want to focus on in terms of content types, potentially memes, episodic content. The other one would be more tactical. And then the third piece is like personal experience. So I think like one of the assets that we could do is have each of the creators create a video about some of their marketing struggles within that current role. All right, this is the final day in Gdańsk, Poland. I didn't vlog at all yesterday, but basically they had this after party at some brewery, and there was this concert from this Polish folk band. And they were doing some crazy things, but it was really cool to see. And we just like got some cocktails, had some barbecue, I had some kielbasi. I just ripped up some work right now on the laptop. I'm just answering a bunch of emails that I'm catching up on. We have a new employee starting on Monday, so I'm just getting her ready for that. Me and my friend Jess and Megan, who are my other 2 American friends here, we're going to do a cooking class today, so I'm running a little late for that, but we're gonna make some pierogis and some soup. Tonight we have the sunset boat party and the after party on the beach at Sopot, and I will take you guys along the way. Peace. All right, Jess is on beet duty.
Cutting the beets.
Megan's on sauerkraut duty. That's pretty bad. This is bad. This
Wait,
looks like,
put it in front of my camera.
This looks like an oyster.
Look at my, looks like a rising sun.
That is so
good.
Mine are really bad. Look how bad this is.
Guys, those are so ugly.
Remind me again one more time what this is called.
Hodnik. Like, very like sour cream and dill kind of.
There's something kind of beautiful about us all pitching in and cooking something together. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's good. And everyone's got the Osmo.
Osmo gang.
All right, we got a problem. So the boat we think leaves at 5. It is now 5:10.
Does it leave at 5?
We don't know. And we just grabbed a cab and we got to sprint to this boat. So updates to come if we actually make it. All right, update on the boat journey. We put in the wrong address, or maybe the right address. I think it was the right address. We drove to the wrong spot. Now we're 20 minutes away and we have about 5 minutes. Jess yelled at the
I did.
taxi driver.
Yeah, we don't have time to discuss and argue. We have to go.
She's like,
Let's go. And Megan's getting car sick. Just in time for her to get boat sick after.
oh, do you get car sick?
I do.
Oh shit. The middle's a good spot though, right?
Is it?
Bus is right there. We made it. Literally made it in the nick of time. Now we are standing in the rain.
Your fans need to know. We're dying out here.
Megan's got the umbrella.
Like before we came. Am I supposed to pack that? Look at this, moocher. A freaking moocher.
We got dropped off by the boat, and now it starts to downpour, and now we're just running in the rain.
Literally torrential rain.
To this building that's super far. This one's running. She's got the right idea.
Doesn't die, and then Megan would take the umbrella and leave me.
All right, that is a wrap on the Poland vlog. I gotta catch a flight back to New York now. Yesterday was just insane. One of the things I'm trying to do more of is take a moment to appreciate all of the really cool opportunities and cool things that I am fortunate enough to get to do. Like come to Poland on a paid for trip, to speak at a conference, meet really interesting people, have unique experiences that I know a lot of people don't get to do, and I need to just take a moment to appreciate it. And a lot of this is just because I put myself out there and share my journey building the business and putting my authentic self out there, and I think it gets well reciprocated. So, if you're watching this, if you made it this far, first off, thank you, but I encourage you to put yourself out there and go for the opportunities you want. If there is something you want to do, if there's a certain life you want to live, I encourage you to start working towards that life. I'm not there yet, but I'm on that progression of the living the life I want to live, and doing stuff like this, going to these different places and meeting interesting people, like that's part of the life that I want to live. And so what I have to say is, man, just you can create your own rules for your own life. A lot of it starts with putting your authentic self out there and sharing your own personal journey, whatever that journey is, and you'll attract the right people and the right opportunities. So thank you guys for watching. I probably will slow down a little bit on the vlogs just because they are very time consuming. I did want to document these trips, but I'll probably slow down a bit on the vlogs, so you won't probably see me for another few weeks. I will be going to Cannes Lion Festival of Creativity, which is in mid-June. So that one I definitely will be vlogging because I want that for the memories. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Probably in France.